Emotional regulation is not just a parenting buzzword. It is the single most important physiological skill a child will ever learn. It is the ability to navigate through the storm of a big emotion, whether it be rage, crushing disappointment, or paralyzing fear, without losing one's sense of self or safety. As parents, we often react to the behavior we see on the surface, the screaming, the kicking, or the slamming of doors. But to truly help our children, we must understand that these are not acts of defiance. They are cries for help from a brain that is temporarily offline. When a child is in the middle of an emotional meltdown, their thinking brain, known as the prefrontal cortex, has effectively shut down. They are trapped in their feeling brain, the limbic system, where the primitive fight-or-flight response has taken total control. In this state, the child is literally incapable of logic, reasoning, or following instructions. Our job is not to punish the meltdown, but to become the external prefrontal cortex for our child until they can regain control of their own.
To understand how to help, we must first understand the neuroscience of a big emotion. Inside the human brain, there is a tiny almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. Think of the amygdala as a smoke detector. Its only job is to scan the environment for danger. When it senses a threat, even if that threat is just a broken toy or a denied cookie, it sounds the alarm. This alarm floods the body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. The heart rate increases, breathing becomes shallow, and the body prepares for battle. In this high arousal state, the child is experiencing a genuine physiological crisis. If we respond with anger or shaking them out of it, we are simply adding more smoke to the room, making the amygdala scream even louder. The first step in effective emotional regulation is recognizing that your child's brain is currently under a high-stress hijack. They aren't being difficult. They are having a difficult time. One of the most powerful tools in your parenting arsenal is a concept called co-regulation. Before a child can learn to self-regulate, they must experience co-regulation with a calm adult. Think of emotions as contagious. If you enter the room with high energy and frustration, your child's nervous system will mirror yours. However, if you can maintain a calm, steady presence, your child's nervous system will eventually begin to match yours. This is called neural resonance. It means that your calm is literally medicine for their chaotic brain. When your child is spiraling, your first task is to regulate yourself. Take a deep breath, soften your gaze, and lower your voice. Your steady heart rate and slow breathing send a silent signal to their amygdala. You are safe. I am here. We can handle this together. This is not about letting them do whatever they want. It is about providing the safety they need to bring their brain back online. Validation is the bridge that connects you to your child during an emotional storm. Often, our instinct is to minimize the emotion. It's not a big deal, or don't cry over such a small thing. But to the child, it is a very big deal. When we minimize their feelings, they learn that their internal experiences are wrong or untrustworthy, which actually increases their anxiety. Instead, try naming to tame it. Use simple, empathetic labels for their feelings. I see that you are feeling really frustrated right now because that tower fell over. It makes sense that you feel sad. You worked so hard on it. By naming the emotion, you are shifting the brain's activity from the limbic system back toward the prefrontal cortex. You are helping them make sense of the internal chaos. Once the emotion is validated and felt, it can finally begin to move through the body and dissipate. Remember, an emotion is like a wave. It has a peak, and it will eventually break if we don't build a wall against it. As we move deeper into the science of the brain, we encounter the concept of the window of tolerance. This is the zone where a person can function and navigate their emotions effectively. When a child is pushed outside this window, they either go into hyperarousal, which looks like anger, aggression, and hyperactivity, or hypoarousal, which looks like shutting down, numbness, and withdrawal. Our goal is to help our children stay within their window or return to it as quickly as possible. This requires us to be emotion detectors.
Start noticing the early signs that your child is approaching the edge of their window. Is their voice getting louder? Is their body becoming tense? By intervening early with a calming activity, a snack, or a change of environment, you can prevent a full-blown explosion. This proactive approach teaches them that they don't have to reach a crisis point to get their needs met or to feel heard. Physical tools can be incredibly effective for grounding a child during a big emotion. Because the limbic system is so closely tied to the body, physical sensations can help pull the brain back into the present moment. Encourage deep pressure activities, like a firm hug, or heavy work, like pushing against a wall or carrying a pile of books. These activities provide proprioceptive input to the brain, which is naturally organizing and calming. Another simple technique is box breathing or butterfly hugs. By focusing on the breath or rhythmic tapping on the chest, the child activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which acts as the body's natural brake on the stress response. These aren't just distractions, they are physiological interventions that change the chemistry of the brain in real time. Over time, as you practice these together, the child will begin to reach for these tools on their own when they feel the smoke detector going off. We must also teach our children that emotions are separate from actions. All feelings are allowed, but not all behaviors are allowed. You can say, "It is okay to feel angry, but it is not okay to hit." This distinction is vital for healthy development. It teaches the child that they are not a bad person for having a difficult feeling, but they are responsible for what they do with that feeling. In the calm moments, not during the meltdown, talk about the plan. Ask your child, "When your brain feels like it's getting too hot, what should our plan be? Do you want to go to your quiet corner, or do you want to squeeze your stress ball?" By involving them in the solution-building process, you are strengthening their prefrontal cortex and giving them a sense of agency. This collaborative problem-solving is the hallmark of a resilient, emotionally intelligent individual. The ultimate goal of emotional regulation is not to create a child who never gets upset. That is impossible and unhealthy. The goal is to raise a child who knows that they are capable of experiencing any emotion and coming out the other side intact. This is the foundation of true mental health. It requires us to move away from traditional models of discipline that focus on shame and isolation, like timeouts, and move toward time-ins, where we stay with the child through their pain. Shame is the enemy of regulation. It shuts down the learning centers of the brain. Connection, on the other hand, is the fuel for regulation. Every deep breath you take and every moment you spend being a calm anchor, you are changing your child's brain for the better. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel. You are not a bad parent. You are a conscious soul navigating the beautiful complexity of your child's emotions. You are growing right alongside them, and you are doing much better than you think. Keep going, keep learning, and keep loving.